recording is started. Thank you very much, Bob, for joining in. So a quick,
Thanks for having me.
yeah. So give a quick introduction of why did you choose to work in AI compliance, and what is the focus of Genbounty at the moment?
Okay, so AI compliance is going to be huge. We all know about AI development. It's over the past 2 3 years. It's gone from hardly anyone using it to every developer who's worth their salt using it. Big firms like OpenAI, Perplex, Anthropic. These firms are telling their developers that if they don't use AI, they're falling behind. Absolutely everyone is using it. We're also seeing a record number of startups being launched and new products being launched to market because of the rate of acceleration that AI development brings. So these products are currently unregulated within many areas of the world. Uh, Starting in 2026, we are seeing the implementation of international regulation and AI compliance, starting in the European Union, where the EU AI Act and Product Liability Directive are both coming into enforcement this year and early next year. These are going to mean compliance fines for non-compliance for unsafe AI, and it's going to mean severe risk of litigation if you're launching an AI product. So this is where Genbounty comes in. We are a full AI risk management platform. We provide complete AI compliance for a firm that's non-compliant and has no idea what's going on, all the way up to CE marking, which is the EU's gold standard for AI compliance.
Gotcha. So in terms of helping the AI startups in the compliance, are you working in EU and UK both, or is it just EU, or even other than EU and UK? Are you guys well versed in maybe UAE, Australia, US, their compliance regulations as well, or at the moment it's just EU and UK?
Yeah, great question. This is a problem which AI developers face. How do we make our product compliant internationally? You don't just want to
Yeah,
sell in UAE; you want to sell all over the world.
yeah,
What the EU AI Act covers is products which sell within the EU, not that are being developed within the EU, but they want to sell within the EU market. This is a huge market, 450 million market. The amount of enterprises, SMEs, consumers. So if you want to sell your product within the EU market, um, you need to ensure that it is compliant this year. If you don't, your your chief risk officer or your chief operations officer or chief compliance, they need to be aware that the company is at risk because you might get hit with very steep fines or you might end up in litigation. Now, if you want to sell within the US or China, for example, by making your firm compliant with EU law. EU law is the gold standard. The EU loves to regulate; it's what they do. They spend all day, every day, sitting in Brussels thinking up regulation laws. Right, you know it. So if you're
yeah.
compliant with EU law, you're going to be compliant with America and China. I mean, obviously there's going to be some small differences, but for the large part, you are going to be compliant.
I got you. Yeah, so I was reading this somewhere that US is a revolution first nation, while EU is risk first. They go with the risk first approach all the time. So, and yes,
Yeah,
standardizing everything. Either it's driving a car, cooking a meal, having a croissant with a coffee. There are
right.
some etiquettes or some standardized procedures for that. Right? So
Yeah.
maybe you end up in a cafe, in a restaurant in France, and you need to comply with their rules and regulations, right? So their etiquettes of dining and everything. So
Yes,
yeah.
they live in an ideal world. You know, they put out laws for the utopian world, which the utopian vision.
Hmm. Gotcha. So one more thing, if we prioritize, or if we um, get the different industries on a scale of 1 to 10, which are the top three industries you think, or even based on the data, or based on the EU AI Act, which are the three key industries which are going to be affected the most by the EU AI regulations?
I think any industry which has that when they release an AI product, it's going to have an effect on consumers. I think one of the top use cases that we're working on is finance.
Okay.
Finance has financial decisions affect people's lives
Yeah.
disproportionately. To other decisions in other industries, so if for financial firms, they will likely whatever they produce, no matter how small or insignificant, it's probably going to be classified as high risk, and that's going
Mm.
to immediately put it under the scope of the AI Act. And in a similar way, fintech, uh,
Yeah.
next generation financial firms, cryptocurrency based firms. These are blockchain technology. These are also going to be affected. Um, Education, if you're providing AI material to children, you are going to get absolutely destroyed over the coming year. You've got to make sure your AI is so tight that it cannot harm children. If it does, the regulation is going to come down hard on you. So those three industries are going to be hit the hardest.
I got you. So basically, to sum it up, it's education, um, and fintech. Um, but what about healthcare? We see a lot of bots, or a lot of even AI agents being developed for the health and wellness industry. People are using it for therapies. People are using it for conversational AI,
Hmm.
or maybe to take an advice, maybe to talk to. So how is that going on? Any experience, any examples, or anything you want to highlight around healthcare?
Yeah, really insightful. Healthcare is a very broad subject, right? So you've got physical health, you've got psychological health,
Yeah,
you've got
mental health. Yeah,
alternative, yeah, mental health, yeah, alternative
yeah, yeah,
therapies.
yeah.
Um, Now, uh, if you've got an AI tool which does diagnosis of MRIs, this could potentially lead to all sorts of catastrophic outcomes. Uh, there's a whole industry built up around this to protect these physical products. I would think that it's a lot. The medical instrumentation that's already got a lot of existing regulation around it. That's a whole other area of compliance. If you're talking about uh, psychological, mental health side of things, this is directly applicable to the Act. So I can give you an example of this. I recently spoke to the CEO of an application developer who's developed an app which provides emotional advice. It's kind
Hmm.
of it tries to be a companion, tries to be a friend, and
Yeah.
it guides the user towards um, helping them with their anxiety, for example, or with mental health conditions. This app is a beautiful idea, and credit to the developers for thinking of it, putting it out there. But they need to be made aware that this is going. That if one of their consumers, one of their users, decides that this has given them incorrect advice, or worse, they do some harm to themselves, this firm's going to go under in a day if they're not compliant. So they need to ensure that they have made their product as safe as possible before it's made available to the users, and they need to provide a way for consumers to report serious incidents to them. So I think the healthcare industry is a lot of use cases. There's that very small niche which I was talking about of critical medical instruments, which I think is it's just it's a whole other area. But there's also a giant 95% section which does need to be compliant.
Interesting. Interesting. And in terms of AI compliance, how's your experience so far? Which are the key startups, if you want to name them, you have helped so far? And what your AI compliance suite look like? Is it, just plug and play, or is it like you do understand the requirement of every single startup based on their industry, based on the regional approach and everything, and then you come up with a custom AI compliant procedure or plan for them? How does it really works? Or yeah, just go ahead.
It's good. You really know your stuff. I'm surprised you've got good insights into this industry.
Yeah, definitely. I had to have a conversation with you, man.
Really good. Yeah, so I mean, when we started out, we started go. We were initially uh, really altruistic. We were like, oh, we want to help startups to become compliant. We want to make our product free and open to all. And this was great until we ran out of money. So it's so good to go after startups. Like it's the perfect use case for a product like ours, and we encourage startups to use our product.
Hmm.
We want startups to use it, but we also need to generate revenue. So while we have worked with many startups in helping them to achieve compliance by finding safety and security issues, and helping them on their path, we are actually mainly targeted at enterprise, in particular
Okay.
the financial sector. We want
Hmm.
we are our main objective in 2026 is to work within financial services firms, in ensuring that they are compliant. Um, through, we are actively pursuing pilots with financial services firms through our partner as it's a Europe CIC, and so this is our main objective. We ultimately are a platform for any company that wants to achieve compliance. Um, but a lot of companies, they don't have they either aren't motivated currently, or they don't have the funds for it. The reason is because this regulation, it doesn't come into effect until the end of this year. If you look at
Okay.
GDPR, I don't know if you're around for GDPR. Were you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
well
So
aware of it. Yeah.
I'm sure you'll remember when it came into effect, for about 2 years before, everyone
Yeah.
knew that GDPR was coming. No one did
Yeah.
anything. And then the enforcement deadline came, and suddenly the entire world had to jump up and say, if we want to sell within the EU, we need to be GDPR compliant today. This is a
Mm.
similar thing. So the reason that we're going after banks right now and financial institutions is because they are aware of the risk. right? They are aware that
Mm,
this risk
yeah.
is coming and it's going to take them 6 months. Startups are waiting to be told you're about to be fined, as
Yeah.
are SMEs. So this is why we're doing. So we're staging with the people who are currently aware of the risk, and then as the deadline gets closer, the enforcement deadline gets closer, we are then making our platform available to everyone that needs it.
That's interesting. So yeah, we saw GDPR coming into effect. We saw even trucking compliance regulations. I was reading about it. It was started from US, then it went to Canada, and now even I think EU and UK have deployed the compliance for the trucking industry. So.
Mhm.
Um, thank you for sharing the insights about how you are how you are going to help enterprises, and as soon as law will come into effect, you will be helping SMEs and startups, because at that
Mhm.
time compliance is going to be everyone's biggest concern out there, especially around AI. So what do you think, anyone who is planning to get out of the last cohort, or or the fall cohort of either Ycomb or maybe Station F, out of EU,
Mm.
if they are getting out, in December, or getting their fundings in Jan, what do you think is a good time, or is a good time period for them to get in touch with the compliance firms or a compliance consultant and get their AI compliance done, or is it something which has to be done even before they raise their funds?
Yeah, I think if you're applying for investment and you assign budget to this, it's going to look
Hmm.
very good to investors. It's going to show foresight and understanding of your compliance obligations. Um, I would be looking to set aside your budget at the very latest Q2 this year for this. If you're uh, if it's important to assess your product. Okay, so even if you don't have the funds right now to become compliant, then you can get started for on the Genbounty platform. You can get started for free. You simply create an account, you assess your risk, and then once
Hmm.
you've assessed your risk, you can then go away for a couple of quarters until you've got that budget set aside, and then you'll know exactly how much budget you're going to require. Assessing your risk is going to be the most important first step. So yeah, even if you don't have the money to get started, assess your risk level under the EU AI Act as a first step. It doesn't cost anything. Just get it done, and you'll know where you are.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the most helpful for the founders who are, working on a prototype, or working on a, POC, or maybe working on a MVP. They can get the compliance risk checked, and then they can keep a portion of, the funds, um, uh, on a side for the compliance. Um, One more question, a little maybe personal. So, if you would have been, if you're not working in compliance, what else you will be doing? Maybe working in the government sector and developing those compliance rules and regulations, or maybe something else.
Yeah, okay, interesting question. So I was working in cyber security before this, so
Oh,
I would probably be doing that still. It was okay working in cyber, but AI is certainly a lot more interesting.
gotcha, gotcha. So, cybersecurity and then compliance. You always like to sell hotcakes only. You don't go
I
because
like hard work. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, based on this, definitely cybersecurity is booming with the rise of AI, Gen AI tools, agentive AI tools. Um, what
Mhm.
is one most important AI tool you are using in your daily life, being in compliance?
I guess for our agentic testing suite, it's probably LangChain and LangGraph. So this is a compliance, not compliance framework, but agentic framework. So
Okay.
I don't think compliance directly, but yeah, the technology to enable rapid and accurate and loggable, transparent testing of AI safety and security issues.
Gotcha. And what is the most fluff AI product you have ever seen in your life? Could be anything out there. You may have tried by yourself, and you were like, "What is this, man?"
Yeah, I have a my pet peeve is automated compliance. Right, if we go back to ISO 1271, there are firms which are offering automated AI ISO 1271 compliance, and I've worked in cybersecurity, and I know that ISO 1271 is an opportunity for IT departments and the company at whole to ensure that their systems are secure and are optimal for the security and the safety of its users. It's a chance to take a deep dive into your organization and make sure that it's operating correctly in terms of security. You can automate it with AI. Yes, you can do it in half an hour. You're not going to learn anything. It's completely just it's completely skews the entire point of the regulation. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
Interesting, interesting. Perfect. And what is AI really is doing in terms of entertainment? That is quite important part as well, especially around the gaming industry. How do you see that, and how the compliance really is going to hit them? Because these days, um, healthcare, AI is there for healthcare, AI is there for education, AI is there for entertainment. I feel like these are AI is there for banking, three or four most important parts of a human life. You circle around every day in and out. So how is it going? Have you got a chance to work with any entertainment businesses, and helping them to be compliant?
We haven't yet. However, we have identified several that we're interested in looking at working with. For example, image generation, video
Yeah.
generation. Uh, these are definitely within our scope, and they're also interestingly some of the leading video generation companies. They're leading the way in compliance because they are aware of what they're doing is extremely risky. Deep fakes are a massive topic at the moment. There's especially in the UK, they are. Uh, they've got a microscope on deep fake production, and across the EU, they're outlawing deep fakes on social media that can cause harm. So these entertainment companies, they are very savvy in terms of their compliance requirements. We will look to go after them. We've identified some, but at the moment we haven't approached any.
I saw, I think you posted a few days back around about a documentary which was done by using a deep fake
Richard
of a
Feynman.
scientist.
Yeah,
Oh,
Richard Feynman.
Richard Feynman. Yeah. So I feel like you were right there, in terms of whosoever is documenting anything producing deepfakes. And you mentioned that even an alert or a flag was not there that this is
Mm.
basically a deepfake, and you just got to know that by yourself.
Yeah, the worst part of it was I did a bit of research after, and people had actually made deep fakes of the deep fakes. So there was a whole load of
Oh,
videos out there just like this. So basically, what this was is the philosopher slash
yeah.
scientist Richard Feynman. He is an authority on many subjects of the human mind and of the universe. So when I saw this documentary, it was in black and white. It was against this background of bushes and birds flying around it. It looked very realistic for an old video. And
Hmm.
my mind was immediately open to this guy and what he was saying. because I thought, this could have some value. The algorithms recommended it to me. It sounds very interesting to learn about what he's talking about. So my mind was completely open to this. It was only halfway through, because I spent so much time in AI. I was able to identify that he was the stuff he was coming out with was predictable, and followed a predictable AI pattern. So I identified that as AI. Once I commented on it, a lot of people realized the same thing. There was no mark on this video at all that said it was AI. Now, he's talking about philosophy. Imagine
Yeah,
now this is someone talking about something a lot more damaging. Um,
yeah.
uh, I was able to spot it. Many people aren't.
Yeah, makes sense. And Bob, one more thing. I feel like as we are talking about deepfakes, this is going quite a lot on an individual basis as well. Not just with the personalities, not just with the politicians, not just with the artists or actors. Even this is something which is happening with common people out there. Or so I had this one question on top of my head. Suppose I'm living in EU, or I'm living in UK maybe. So if someone is using my deepfakes for any malicious activity, or maybe for a business activity, without my consent, is it
Mm.
something which is going to be covered within the EU AI Act, or not really? Or maybe in UK's AI Act?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is going to be assessed as potentially high risk. Um, let's look at an interesting example, right? So this interview, um,
Yeah,
are you AI? Are you AI? Are you a deep fake? Am I a deep fake? I could be an AI version of me that's talking to you. You could be an AI
yeah,
version of you that's talking to me. We don't
yeah,
we don't know. What's important is that we are transparent about it. If I am an AI deep fake, I can say yes, I am an AI. I am an AI version of Bob Morel.
of-
But I
yeah,
represent him. I'm just making that transparent. We're going to put a little notice in the bottom of the screen saying AI generated deepfake. Then we can have a conversation with the two deepfakes of our avatars. We can have a conversation then, as long as we're being transparent about it and clear. That's what's important.
makes sense. Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying this. And one more question is,
So many
in
questions,
case
so many questions. Let's
time, and giving us kind of insight of how AI compliance is going to work down the road in EU, in UK, and for SMEs, and for startups, and for enterprises as well, who are going to operate in around the globe, not definitely just for EU, not just within UK or US or Australia. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye.
yeah. Thank you for your time too, and for your insights and research.
Thank you. Bye.